Ahoy there, chummers, and welcome to another episode of Shadowrun Reviews. And today, we're going to be taking a look at a very old, very classic Shadowrun book from 2nd edition. Ahoy, chummers, and welcome to another episode of Shadowrun Reviews. And today, we got a classic book here that we're reviewing. We are going to be taking a look at the Street Samurai catalog from Shadowrun 2nd edition, a book straight out of the 1980s that was, copyright was, let's take a look, see just how old this book actually is. So the copyright on this book, I don't know if you can see that, but it is 1989. It was revised in 1992 for Shadowrun 2nd edition. And this right here, I am 100% positive this is the single oldest supplement that I own for Shadowrun. And you can tell from the condition of the cover and of the book itself, the pages, that this book has seen some shit. This book has been around for a long time. I have had this book, let me think here. I started playing Shadowrun when I was a freshman in high school, so if this was one of the first supplements that I got for Shadowrun, it would have been probably 96 when I got this. Maybe 97, but probably closer to 90, 96, maybe 95. So this book I have had for almost 30 freaking years. Jesus. This, yeah. Just looking at this makes me feel old now. Oh my God. Okay, so anyway, let's go ahead and dive into this book. The Street Samurai catalog basically served the function of the Man and Machine book, or Man and Machine and Canon Companion in 3rd edition. It also served the function of the Arsenal book in 4th edition. I think was the name of the. I've got it laying around somewhere, but I think Arsenal is the name of the gunnery and equipment supplement for Shadowrun 4th edition. But this essentially had guns and cyberware in one package. And of course you have the delightfully 80s artwork here. By the way, if you hear a plane zooming overhead, or if you hear other stuff throughout this video, I am filming this outside, because it's a fairly nice day and I didn't want to screw around with my lighting setup. So yeah, we'll just deal with the planes going overhead, and if you hear dogs barking in the background, you'll understand why. So first thing you notice right off the bat about this book is the delightfully 80s cover art. We got ghouls. I'm guessing this is a ghoul, and I'm guessing that's a ghoul. And we've got a Charles Bronson-looking street samurai with a, looks like a smart-linked SMG, and of course the katana, because street samurais always have to have katanas. So right there, that kind of gives you a little clue as to the flavor of this book. And this book was actually kind of unique in that it had fluff and flavor text in it, like all Shadowrun books do. But this one was actually done up as a catalog, believe it or not. This was actually done up as the Ares Winter Catalog for 2050, and the comments on here reflect that as well. And you see, look, you see each entry, it has, a picture of the item, it has the item's name, it has the description, and the description actually reads like something that you would find in a catalog. Let's take a look at the Laser Crescent Axe here. It says, under the description text, an industrial strength welding laser personal combat weapon, safer than a mono whip and just as deadly. And then it's got the descriptive text. Here's one for Mr. Ripley. Designed by Centurion Industries for use against certain types of awakened critters, the Laser Crescent Axe carries a self-focusing, multi-track welding laser, I almost said wielding there, in a crescent-shaped mounting. The crescent shape keeps the weapon from snagging, and the laser ensures that there's nothing left to snag on. Literally on the cutting edge of technology. And then you got the actual game stats underneath, so the concealability, reach, damage, weight, cost, and all that good stuff. And then You've got, like I said, bottom text is going to be, it's going to be comments from Shadowland users, and we got this one here. It says, a friend of mine had the opportunity to field test this weapon, and though the effect is extreme, the odds in favor of knocking the laser out of alignment are pretty high. When he had it, the axe seemed to be down for repairs more often than it was working properly. Seemed that every third or fourth hit on armor knocked it out. And every entry is like this. It really is. And you can see the graphic here in the upper right corner or upper left-hand corner of every page. It's like it's like something that you would find on an online website for the late 80s, early 90s, of course. But yeah, it's done up like you're actually browsing a site. You're actually browsing an online catalog. And I love that it actually shows you pictures of everything here. It has a picture for everything, so you can actually see what the weapon is. There's not this doesn't happen with Shadowrun books really anymore. There's a lot more. A couple of reasons for that, I suppose, is there's a lot more information in these Shadowrun books. I mean, this book, while it's not light, it is pretty thin compared to some more modern Shadowrun books. I mean, it's 102 pages, so it's not. Again, it's not light on content or anything like that, but compared to modern Shadowrun books, it is. So, I guess you had enough space with this book to put pictures with everything. Now, of course, Shadowrun books, they do have pictures for most things, but there's a lot of stuff in there that you look at it, you read the description, and you're like, okay, but what does it look like? And this is very helpful because, number one, you get to see how cool the gun looks, or whatever piece of equipment you're buying looks. But number two, it kind of gives you an idea of how it would look in the game and how it would conceal in the game. So I mean, look at the Beretta Model 70 and look at the MA 2100 sniping rifle. You kind of get a good idea looking at both of these of the size of the weapon. So this, of course, submachine gun. So you know this is going to be for the most part handheld. You could probably hold it with two hands, but one hand would be fine as well. This is going to be, obviously, it's a long gun, so it's going to be a lot bigger as well. In fact, game terms, it says concealability, no, or NA, but yeah, no concealability for that. But it kind of gives you an idea of how the game terms translate to, it helps you translate the game terms to something visual, is what I'm trying to say here. And the fact that the flavor text at the bottom of the entries involves people either just mouthing off about the companies that make these items, or talking like this one, or talking about their experiences or friends' experiences using these items, like the TMP submachine gun. A former associate of mine, reading the flavor text at the bottom, a former associate of mine had a TMP disintegrate in his hands at the most inopportune moment. Use with caution, or at least make sure the screws are tight. And that right there kind of, it doesn't just serve to flavor the entry, but it also serves to kind of give you, as a game master, some ideas about stuff that might happen with this equipment in game. Like, let's say, for example, there's a runner in your group that's using a TMP submachine gun, and let's say he botches a roll. Well, this flavor text gives you an idea. You might remember this, or you might look at the entry and say, okay, this disintegrated on someone. This gun literally fell apart when somebody tried to use it, so I'm going to go ahead and have that happen here too. And you've got a runner who has just glitched on a roll, but more importantly, his gun has literally just fallen apart on him because the TMP submachine gun is a crappy design, according to this user right here. So it gives you kind of an idea of what you can do with some stuff. And of course, since this was the equipment book, this didn't just have guns. This had, just random bits of equipment as well. Grapple guns, stealth grapple line, flash packs, grenades, bikes as well. This book had a little bit of everything in it. You know, ammo and all sorts of stuff. All sorts of stuff. Now, the Wiremaster supplement in the back of this catalog, oh, and it had helicopters and shit like that. So yeah, lots of stuff in this book. Now, the Wiremaster supplement was cyberware. So this is where you would find a lot of your cybernetics and things like that. And again, you've got a visual representation of not only what the object, you know, not only what the bit of cyberware actually looks like, but where it would actually be placed inside somebody as well. For example, with the internal voice mask, you've got, you know, picture of the head, you've got a picture of the device and how it would look. You can see where it's wired right here in the brain and up in the cranial area. But then you can also see this long wire running down here to the larynx as well. So it kind of it gives you an idea of how the cybernetics interact with the human body and where it's actually going to be located on somebody. And again, as a game master, if you're looking at something like this, maybe, just maybe, you got some ways to mess with the characters. Like, let's say, for example, let's say Street Samurai, the same Street Samurai with the TMP submachine gun. Let's pick on that guy for that random hypothetical guy that I just made up here. He's gonna get the shit kicked out of him in this video. So let's say he's got an internal voice mask and he gets into a firefight, and let's just say the one of the corp set guards shooting at him gets critical and hits him in the neck. Well, maybe his internal voice mask is damaged because of that. I don't know. You know, something to think about. Definitely something to think about. And again, you know, this first part is all headwear, but cyber eyes as well. You know, you got cyber eyes, you got the eyeball, of course, and you got where the rest of the cybernetics is going to end up in the head as well. Some of these pages are folded together, so bear with me here. Cyber guns, you got where cyber guns would look, boosted reflexes, skill hardwires, hand razors, and all of that stuff. A very useful book. If game terms, this is out of date. I usually run 3rd edition and 4th edition. Even for 3rd edition, this book is out of date. It's been replaced several times over. We're in what, 6th edition now? Yeah, this stuff is not going to translate between there. But again, the pictures, it gives you, especially with the cyberware, it gives you a visual reference of where everything's going to be located in the human body, what stuff is going to look like, what some equipment is going to look like. So as a player and as a game master, that kind of gives you a sense of, I'm trying to find the right word for it here. It gives you a sense of, I don't want to say it makes your character a real person, because that's not really, that was the first thing that popped in my head, but that's not really something that would apply here. It gives you an idea of the space that your gear inhabits, essentially. So it gives you a better idea of, with the visuals, it gives you a better idea of, you know, where things would be located, where cybernetics would be located. In the case of guns and equipment, what a character could reasonably carry on him, and what a character could reasonably fire and use out at the same time, and that sort of thing. So very, plus again, the flavor text at the bottom and the fact that this whole thing is done up as a catalog is just, it's awesome. I absolutely love it. Obviously one of my favorite books, as you can tell by the dog-eared condition of the whole damn thing. And then the end of the book, you got some fiction here, and then you've also got some rules. So you've got rules for cyberware damage and subsystems and all that. So repairing cyberware, upgrading cyberware, customizing your cyberware. Getting cheap-ass cyberware, bargain basement cyberware, stuff from the dollar store, just about. Maybe something you find in the dollar bin at a stuffer shack or something like that. I don't know. And then you got some archetypes in the back, so you got some characters as well. And again, all of the rules and all of this stuff is going to be obsolete. Way obsolete. But, again, it gives you an idea of stuff, how stuff works, or how stuff used to work, and it gives you, especially with the characters, it gives you kind of an idea of what you might want to build if you're a player as well. And then you got your tables and all that good stuff. Specific record sheet, character record sheet for the Street Samurai. I've used this a time or two. It's actually a fairly good sheet. It does a good job of organizing your cybernetics and your gear and everything. So yeah, that is the Street Samurai catalog. And then, of course, you got the motto on the back, when the going gets tough, the tough go shopping. Again, this book, excellent book. If you can find it, if you can find a physical copy of it, fantastic. I would suggest, I have absolutely no idea how much it would be, but I would suggest buying it if the cost is not too insane, because it's a great book to have. It's a great collector's item, I think. If you can find a digital copy as well, I'm almost positive Drive-Thru RPG has all of the second and third edition Shadowrun books online, because I'm almost positive that Catalyst Game Labs has made them available as PDFs. So, maybe Drive-Thru RPG has this. Even if you have just a digital copy, it's a great resource for you to have, and it's just a really fun book. And that's the chip truth, chummers. Let me know what you think in the comment section, and don't forget to hit that like button and subscribe to my channel for more Shadowrun content. Hit that notification bell so you will always know when I upload a brand new Shadowrun video, and until next time, remember to shoot straight and never, ever deal with a dragon.